Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. My name is Lynette. Today we're going to talk about being prepared for opportunities. And by that, I mean you do all the legwork, you do all the spiritual work, you do all the physical work to be lined up for whatever goal you're seeking, whether it be career, relationship, whatever it is. But while you're waiting for that opportunity to come knocking at your door, you have to remain in that state of preparedness. And I'm going to give you an example right off the bat, and this paints a clear picture of how it is. When I was trying to become a better actress, and I would be waiting for my phone to ring to have an opportunity to go audition. Well, in the meantime, I would be nervous. I'd want to eat. It was emotional eating, actually. I would go to Starbucks, have a sweet coffee, a sweet treat, whatever it was. And then when my phone did ring and I did have an opportunity, I was not prepared because I was not my best. I know coffee doesn't affect everybody in the same way. However, the caffeine, etc., and the sugar does affect me in, I would say, a negative way. I mean, if I wasn't trying to be my best, I suppose nobody would notice or I wouldn't notice. But when I am trying to be my best, I do notice a difference. So I try to clean it up really quickly in one day. And it reminds me, there was a sitcom, in fact, of somebody who had a doctor appointment to have a physical the next day. And so after eating bad all this time and doing all this nasty habits, he had a salad for dinner. And the truth is, it doesn't work that way. We need to remain in a state of being prepared. Because when opportunity knocks, we need to be prepared. Another interesting theory about being prepared is that we never know who's observing us, and we never know what their takeaway of how we are is. I don't know about you, but have you ever noticed that you think you're presenting yourself a certain way, a certain look, a certain everything, and somebody will say something to you, and their takeaway is completely different than what you thought about yourself. So if you are your best at all times, not only is it exciting to be prepared for opportunity, it keeps you grounded in being your best until that becomes you, because you never know who you're being observed by and what you're being observed for. But if you remain in that state of being prepared, you're always being your best, whoever you meet, whatever you do. You can go into that interview or meet that person or whatever with confidence. The confidence in knowing that you're going to be your best. Sometimes I feel like I sabotage myself because I know I didn't take the steps to be my best. And so therefore, I lack knowing that I'm being my best because I know that I didn't take the steps, didn't do what I needed to do to become that person, to become my best. And therefore, I think it interferes with what you're doing. Whether it be an interview, meeting somebody, passing a physical exam, whatever the case may be. And I also realize and understand there's a lot to be said for emotional eating. And I think when you're waiting for an opportunity, even if it's going to come tomorrow, we don't know that today. And so the days and the wait can seem long, but you never know it's right around the corner. And this is something I myself battle with constantly. I remember when I was going for auditions, I felt like I did pretty good at this particular audition. So on the way home, I decided to oh gosh, just take a deep breath and kind of celebrate. So I had a cheeseburger, french fries, Coke, and I noticed after I ate it that my enthusiasm wasn't where it was prior to that. So what I'm saying, and I have taken this walk time after time more than I care to admit, that you got to remain consistent in being the best you, because you never know when opportunity is going to come. And it's so exciting to say to yourself, I'm not going to do this or that, or eat this or that, or drink this or that, because I'm going to be prepared for opportunities that are coming. Life might seem like it's standing still, but you never know what's going on behind the scenes. Another example I'm going to give you, there's a show I'm sure most of you are familiar with. They call The Big Bang Theory. And one of the young men got an opportunity to become an astronaut. So he wanted his nickname to be Rocket Man. So as a hint to his peers, he put Rocket Man on his ringtone on his phone. And when it was playing, so his peers could hear it, his mother happened to yell to him that it's time for breakfast. His Fruit Loops were getting soggy. And that seems to be what they heard, is the word Fruit Loop. And so his nickname went from Rocket Man, and that's how he hoped they would see him, to calling him Fruit Loop. All joking aside, it really is exciting to have all your physical, mental components in line. And that's doing the things we already talked about. Of course, it's praying, meditating, getting your mind wrapped around your goals. And then there's also the physical part, exercising, being in the shape you want to be in, being the best you, not the best that anybody else is. That doesn't matter. But the best that you can be, and eating right. So you have this confidence. And not only do you have confidence, when you're taking those steps, you feel more grounded. You have more of a well-being. Your thoughts are more positive, and therefore you become happier. And this is putting all the components together for having health and happiness. And it's unfortunate that when we're waiting for our opportunity, and we can't see it because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Your name can be the front runner on somebody's desk, even as we speak. But as I said, the time seems to go slow, and our heads can easily go to a negative place. And that is the reason you want to stay as the best that you can possibly be. Because when I mentioned earlier that I stopped for that cheeseburger, etc., that's what happened. My thoughts went from being very positive to a negative place. And I believe, and that's why I've talked to you about the intention board, I believe that what we resonate, what we put out there into the universe, is what we are going to get. And I think my energy went from positive to negative energy, and that's exactly what I put out there. As I said, I've done this numerous times because my addiction is sugary sweets. We all have some sort of thing that has given us a bad time, but I would say that's mine. I can remember numerous times of something happening. I remember walking good, feeling good, and then I got a box of candy. And after eating this candy, boom, I was right back to where I was mentally and physically, both, because sugar causes inflammation. I know that. See, all this I know logically, but doing it in the physical, when we're taking 24 hours of a day and 7 days a week waiting for opportunity to come, I do understand that it's hard. But aside from saying I do understand, let's look at it from a positive standpoint. It's a win-win situation to be prepared. You're your best physically, you're your best mentally, and you're ready for any opportunity that arises. And life is full of opportunities. As I said, we never know what tomorrow is going to bring, what's right around the corner. Who has us in their head to be a front runner for whatever reason? And that can be a very exciting way to live. And so we can't live it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We need to make it 7 days a week and tell yourself, I'm going to be ready for my opportunity. Everything that we've talked about this far, episode after episode, coming together, making you your best person. I believe if you followed it, that you are your best person. And now being your best person is kind of a waiting game. It's realizing that life is in place right now. We don't have to stir the pot constantly. Sometimes when it's settled and things seem quiet, it's good. What's going to come to you that is in the works will come at the time that it's supposed to. But enjoy the quiet time. Enjoy the new you. What's interesting to me is there is a flip side when you say people observe you differently than you observe yourself. But when they observe you in a way where you feel like it's something only you knew about yourself, something you're feeling. So what I'm getting at, I think we show how we're feeling even if we think we're hiding it so well. I believe it shows. And I believe when we're negative, it shows. And when we're positive and confident, it shows. When you're prepared for your opportunity, you're also confident. There's nothing like a confidence in knowing that you have done everything you could do. It's like if you were going to be in the Olympics as a swimmer and you thought, I'm not going to practice, I'll be ready. And you probably would not have the confidence, nor would you do that well. But if you practice every day, you would be ready and you would have that confidence. And it's that confidence that people can see, just as they can see other things that are not so positive. Have you ever been around someone and you almost know what they're feeling or how they're feeling? You can just tell. And that's the way we are with each other if we're in tune to it. In fact, the other day, somebody was over, and I could tell that their mood or something was off. So I said, are you okay? And then they confided in me something that's going on in their situation. And it was interesting. Again, it just confirms that people can see how we are, and that's why it is of the utmost importance to be the best you if you want your life to take off, to keep climbing and climbing. You've got to be your best self. And the takeaway from all this exciting part is when you're your best self, that's when you actually feel the happiest because everything is balanced. Have you ever felt unbalanced, whether it be mentally or physically? Like doing a little bit of exercises. Sometimes I just don't feel like it. But again, when I skip it, I kind of know within myself that I didn't do something for me that helps to keep me as my best self. And therefore, a little bit of confidence is lost because you know what you've done or haven't done. So I would encourage you to keep taking the steps forward. Mentally, like I said, challenges come at us every day. And so long as you keep a little bit of quiet time for yourself. There was a lady that was speaking to a group, and her friends were there. So instead of being in the back room preparing for her talk, she opted to visit with her friends. So when it was time for her to do her talk, she said she's never done so poorly. And it's because we've got to take time for ourselves. We've got to take time to be quiet, to sit, to get our minds balanced. So when you're walking and you know you've done everything you can do physically, and you've taken time for your own mental state, and it's very important to take that time, then we walk in confidence. And not only in confidence, but as I said earlier, when your mind is balanced, when everything's balanced, you also have happiness. And the cherry on the cake is waiting for that opportunity and knowing that you're ready for it. Life is full of opportunities. There's another one right around the corner. So it's not always waiting. We don't have to be in a state of waiting. We need to be in a state of living and enjoying and laughing and loving. That's what's so exciting about life, is we never know what awesome opportunities it's going to bring to us. With that being said, I hope you will be in a constant state of being prepared for your opportunity. I should say opportunities, because there's always another one following this one. So don't tell yourself that you had your opportunity and so now you can just relax and let it go. Life is full of opportunities, one right after another, and always be prepared. And in being prepared for your opportunities, you're also going to be in a good physical and mental state. So as I said earlier, it is a win-win. We can't go wrong being in a good physical and mental state. And the opportunities are just icing on the cake. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a great week. Bye-bye.